Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you 4 cards using the same stamp set, and it is Happy Harvest by Lawn Fawn. I'm also going to be using the new fall release from Kat Scrappiness, along with some of the old fall release from last year. So I'm going to get started by showing you the stamp set here. That's the Lawn Fawn. That's available in the shop. I'll link it below. I've also ink blended all my own backgrounds, and I'm using all my kind of favorite fall colors, which are like the fired brick and the carved pumpkin and fossilized amber. Those are some of my go-tos. Also, I've got that moss one in some of them. So it just depends on the background. I'm also going to use the embossed edge dies, the new ones, and I'm probably going to be mostly using the biggest one, which I did use on this background right here. I'm also using the stitched scallop collage frame die for this particular card because I wanted to create a cute little scene. So I'm going to get started by attaching my background to my card base. I'm also going to start creating my little scene inside of each one of the windows, and I've decided to do this one in landscape. Here is kind of a peek at all the dies that come in the Crafter's Essential Fall die set. Now this is a great set to have, and I've used it many times on lots of different projects, not only for fall, but I've also used it for other seasons as well, not just fall. I used it for Halloween stuff as well. And I'm going to just place down the little fence elements, which I cut out with that. Also, I cut out some really long grass because I kind of wanted to look almost like wheat. Not wheat, but like fall grass. And that was just from a die that I had in my stash. And then I created my little background piece. I pulled off the backing for, this is on Fun Foam. And then I'm going to pop up the little wagon with the pumpkins in it. And then I'm going to pop up my scarecrow and create his little scene there as well. So anyway, back to the dies that I'm using for this. There's also another die that comes in that Crafter's Essential Fall kit, and I'm going to be using that for the next card. So when you see that one, it comes also in this same bunch of dies that are right there on my screen, just so you know. The Happy Harvest sentiment that I put on there is also out of there. That's the sentiment, it's a stitched sentiment die. And now I'm just going to pop up my little birds. I'm going to create a little flowery scene at the top. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do up there, but I have so many elements that have been cut out and colored that I decided to just go to town on it and create a little flower bed up at the top. So what I did was I stamped out all of these images multiple times onto a single sheet of Copic friendly paper, and then I colored them all in, and then I ran it through my scan and cut. So I've basically given up dies, stamp dies, not background dies. Still love my background dies and all of my element dies. Those I will never give up. But as far as the dies that cut out my stamps, I've kind of given up buying those because I got myself a Brother Scan and Cut. And I got the newer one, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So anyway, on to card number 2. There's that panel that comes in the Crafter's Essential Kit, and it does cut out this little leaf, the fall leaf right here in the corner. I'm going to leave this one in because I cut it out 2 more times from the other paper that I just showed you, just to kind of give it a contrasting look. And this is the one where I used the moss color along with the fossilized amber, and then the fired brick is the colors for the background on this one. I'm going to place it down onto a card base, which I rounded the corners to make it kind of match my little background piece here. Let's place that down. I've also cut out the Give Thanks. That is the Give Thanks sentiment and drop shadow. For this one, I'm not going to use the drop shadow. I'm just going to use the word. It's a very beautiful, scrolly looking font here that I absolutely love. It makes for some very elegant cards, but I wanted to show you guys that you don't have to just do elegant cards, which I've already done a few, but you can also do these fun, cute, whimsical cards as well, using those same exact dies with the pretty font. So this is me just going to kind of stuff these behind. So these are the leaves that I cut out with that same die, but from the other paper. And when you see the close-up, you'll see all the detail on those leaves. It came out really good. I also used some gold splatter paint on them, and I think it just brings it out. Makes it look really pretty. I'm going to create a little cluster over here with a sunflower and a couple of pumpkins, and then I'll start placing my little birds all over. I'm also going to use the Kat Scrappiness, the clear sparkling droplets. You can see them kind of up there in the corner in my little tray right there. I love those things. I use them pretty much all the time. Place down my little birds, crows, I should say. I think they just make it. They just make the card perfect. These little crows are so, they have such a blank look, but they're just so stinking cute. So I'm going to pop this guy up on top of, I think he's going on, yep, on top of the pumpkins. And then the other one I'll pop up on top of the sunflower. And I know that they can totally stand on those sunflowers because I actually went with my son and we went to go pumpkin picking and they had sunflowers, and there's a picture of me that my son took standing underneath one of those sunflowers. They are huge. I've never seen sunflowers this big until I moved to the Northwest, and now, wow, they're gigantic. So place down my little droplets here. I will link all of this stuff below, by the way, because I know when I'm watching other people's videos and I see something on there, I'm like, I have to have it, and it's not linked below, I get irritated. So I'm trying to get better, guys. I promise. I'm going to do my best to try to link everything below. So I'm on to card number 3. This die is amazing. So it is another one of the embossed edge dies, but what this one does is it has a double embossed edge. So both the inside panel and the outside panel get that embossed edge. So you can use both sides and you don't have to waste any of your pretty ink blended papers. But for this one, I'm going to use the inside. So I'm going to place down my pattern paper onto a card base. And this is just pattern paper from my stash that kind of has like a fallish theme to it. I'm going to place down my heart right there in the middle. And this one I'm going to use the drop shadow with the give thanks. And I just cut out the drop shadow from some vellum. And then I attached the give thanks down to that. And now I'm going to place that onto my heart. And you guys know how to use vellum. You just basically glue only where the words are so that the glue doesn't show through your vellum. And now I'm just going to fussy around and figure out exactly what I want to place on my card. I know I want some of these elements, but I really didn't want to cover up any of my give thanks because I think it's so pretty. So I decided to go with a couple of pumpkins and a sunflower and some of the birds, and I think we're going to call it good. And probably some more sparkling droplets, but I can't remember if I put them on or not. We'll see. We'll see together. So I'm just going to mess around with this and try to figure out how high I want my sunflower to go. And then we'll start placing on our little crows. I think he looks good over there. I really don't want to cover up any of the give thanks. That's why I keep moving things around, because I feel like, oh, you can't see the little swirl. I love it. So now I'm going to put one more bird and then some droplets. And then that's going to call it good for card number 3. Elegant and cute, all in one card. Love it. Sorry, my voice is still a mess. I'm still sick, so this is cold is never going to go away. So next I'm going to use the Give Thanks wreath die, and we're going to play around with this one. So I'm going to create my little card base here. These are all, by the way, standard A2 size, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. I'm going to place down a little background piece. I also made another ink splattered, but this one I ran it through with a wood grained embossing die, embossing folder. I also cut out the Give Thanks from the splattered and ink smushed panel that I created with the gold splatter paint. This is cut out of Fun Foam, which is, and I tried to find a color that I didn't mind it poking out the back because I wanted kind of a slight drop shadow behind it. So this is kind of an orangish red Fun Foam, which also this particular Fun Foam has, not all of the Fun Foam I buy has the sticky back, but this one did, and I'm thankful because it saved me a lot of gluing on the back of that. Now I'm going to pop up my little scarecrow and some more of my little elements, which you can see right up there on the top. And I still had a few left over. I could have done one more card, but I figured 4 was probably a good weird place to stop here. Since I still have 3 more Fridays worth of stuff, I didn't want you to get too bored. Pop up my other little crow on its arm. And I thought about putting some of those sparkling gems on here, but there's already sparkling behind it. So that gold sparkle paint is back there. So that's my final card. I'm going to run through them again real quick and give you a look-see. And I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. Like I said, links will be in the description below. Head over to the Kat Scrappiness shop for all the new fall essential dyes. You are going to love them. They're absolutely wonderful. And then later on this month, we will be releasing the rest of this month's fun stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, this is what I've got for you today. Happy Friday, and I'll see you next Friday with some more stuff from Kat Scrappiness. Bye-bye.